costumes, we kind of look at, okay, how many zombies do we have? How many leads do we have? Who's coming back? Who's new? And then we sort of shuffle with what we have. We always do, for newbies, we always do a seat check. We make them, you know, do the full bend, leg lifts. We like make sure you're wearing them where they're supposed to. And they always look at us like we're crazy, and we're like, no, you have to, because you're going to split your pants. Buttons are probably the number one thing that come off just from wear and tear. And some of the costumes in our warehouse are old. You know, they're just from wear and tear, and they get rented out, and so stuff's coming back and forth all the time. They're not just sitting there. This stuff is ours. Nobody else wears any of this. So we're lucky that, you know, this is pretty much intact all the time. I might have to let some things out, like the jacket I just found has a sleeve that's already been taken up. Like I'll have to let that out. Or I've had to take things in, stuff like that. Zippers break, buttons pop off, stuff like that. I do all the maintenance on all the costumes for this stuff. Sometimes I do it on the other shows too. It just depends on how busy Celestine is and whatnot.
As things get older and grosser, they just become zombie clothes instead of survivor clothes.
Yeah. They get you know, you could say downgraded, or they get upgraded.
Yes.
To zombies. So yeah, when they can no longer be worn by a main character anymore, then they get put into to zombie land. Then we get to also have people choose their zombie character. So when we do have new zombies come in, we're kind of like, oh, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? You know, but it has to stick to that 60s theme. Still, you know, they can't just be like a current modern character. So we had to kind of rein some of the new guys in. We're like, no, you gotta, you know, what happened in the 60s in Pennsylvania, we can find that in the buckets. And so we let them kind of pick their own characters and do different things. And like Kyrie, since she's younger, she's gonna be a Willard teenager. We got little W's. What do you mean by that? Or cheerleader. So we got little W's. So we're gonna put them on their outfits. And then we have another gentleman who's wearing a Letterman's jacket, so we're going to put the W on, and they're in the same fight scene, so it will kind of look like, you know, they came in from a sports event together. And it's kind of like when Becky and Chris were the married couple and came in together, so we're kind of matching people up. But some people want to charge a lot of money for vintage pieces, so that's why I start early and just keep finding until I find a deal. Because again, if something does happen to it, I don't want to be sad that they just spent a lot of money on something. But we do have a costume warehouse, and that's not far away, but I can't really pull from that because that's usually out for rental. That's the good stuff. Like Johnny's jackets, the 2 jackets I was just trying on him, those are retired from the warehouse. So like when she has jackets that she wants to retire, I'll say, hey, just put them on a rack. And if they're really in bad shape, and I'll be like, I know where these can go, and I'll go over and I'll steal shirts, and so I no longer have to actually go to a Goodwill. I'll go to the rack over there, and I will pull a lot of the old, disheveled, stained stuff that's falling apart, and then that way I can just make them zombie clothes.
Ooh, this is one of my costumes. I like to call this the turkey dress because of the colors. I like it because it's actually a newer costume for me. Previously I was wearing a costume that I wore for, 8 years. So Heidi was really cool and switched it up for me and got this outfit and another one for me. They're very 60s looking, very synthetic material that's not breathable, but so it's very true to the time. The nice thing is I can move in it. It's really important for this role for me to be able to move and bend, and sometimes it's rough when I have to sweat because it's just not a very breathable material, but it's very true to the period. Function is important as well as staying true to the period, and that's kind of where the trick of making the two meet, and you know, as well as the durability. Some costumes rip quite a bit or have to be constantly repaired, so like my last outfit had sleeves on it, so every night, because I was so physical and active, the armpits would have to be corrected. And so what's nice about these costumes is that's not an issue. So costumes are so important. They're such an integral part of a show, and what makes it, and the feeling that it gives, and the feeling that it gives within the audience, because they know it's visual cues make your brain work a certain way. So it's very integral to every part of the show.
Next week, we will start shredding, bloodying, covering all of them with the blood. So the zombies only get washed once a season. So they'll start putting on their clothes and we bloody them all down and they wear them all the way through the run. So it's only the leads that get washed every single show. The zombies stay bloody and gross the whole time. Doing laundry. But there's one thing that really creeps me out about doing the bloody laundry of Night of the Living Dead, and that is little girl socks. I'm gonna tell you a little tale about these little things. They show up in really weird places. Places you wouldn't expect. The garage floor, behind the seats of the theater, behind furniture where they shouldn't be, and then they just vanish. End of the driveway, places, again, where they should not be. So everyone that has ever done laundry for Night of the Living Dead all have tales of little girl socks. And they just mysteriously appear in places where they don't belong. So we all think they're haunted by Karen.